I'm Nick Richtsmeier, and this is Dam's Given, a podcast where we explore how to free your venture from the extraction economy, realigning it to the timeless ways that humans build, collaborate, and buy. All right, we're going to jump in with a sales topic in a sales context. So put your brain there. And as always, we're trying to answer one of these questions in our sort of classic trust made way. Like, how do we do this in a way that produces trust and actually gets us where we want to go? And the funny thing about the pragmatic application of trust made behavior, particularly if you're in the selling environment, is it tends to zig when you might want to zag. Because most people think about trust as being nice and being helpful, particularly if you grew up in the American Midwest. If you have any ties to the American Midwest, you have this sort of, I just want to be of service. I just want to be helpful, and people will hire me for that. And I love that. I'm sitting here in the Midwest. I get it. This is often how I feel. And because of that, I have made this mistake a bazillion times, that being seen as nice and likable and helpful can be very counterproductive to actually growing a trust made business. Now, that doesn't mean the opposite, right? We're not doing inverse world where, well, great, then be mean and harsh and inaccessible. No, that's not, we don't have to inverse things. What we have to do is look for a third way. And so this came to me because one of our trained strategists was having some questions about some sales things she was doing, and we were role playing how that was going for her. And she was kept hitting this same thing where there would be buy-in and some like, hey, we can work together and we're so excited for you. Let's have another call, and then ghost. And so I want to isolate this exact experience because I think people selling services have it all the time, which is the 1-2 punch of they really like me. I felt good. Everybody was happy. Call. And I made a new best friend to ghost. And that 1-2 move is like flag, 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 right? That the process is broken, that the process is producing affinity. It's not producing trust. And those are not the same. Ladies and gentlemen, people liking you is not the same as people trusting you. It's simply not the same. I have lots of people in my life that I love. I enjoy them. I have cocktails with them. We laugh together. Our kids are friends. And there's just, I would not hire them, right? Because that's not the nature of the relationship. We haven't built that side of the relationship. So I want to isolate this. Well, what's happening between the affinity and the ghost? And what's happening is usually on the sales call, there's two big steps. One is if you've been doing trust made things, you know that the job of the front end of a sales call is to dig in and notice and listen and ask questions and get people talking so we can get closer to root cause. Right? The whole point of an initial sales call is to just flap around in the messy water of the challenges they're facing and to help them isolate what feels like where the real pain point is, what feels like the lever that's really creating the challenge, right? So that we don't offer a bunch of symptom solution that doesn't get to the real problem. That is fundamental to the trust made way of being in the world. Now, and so you do that, right? Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's dig around, let's ask questions. And then what can happen is shortly after that, because people are in pain, they've had fun exploring root cause with you. They've had fun digging in and sharing with you what's going on because you're a great person to talk to. You're a great conversationalist. You have great ideas. And then like, but really we have this tactical thing that's kind of in your wheelhouse. Like you could do it and maybe you've done it before and you want to be helpful. And so in some way, shape or form, you start doing this thing. And here's the tick. The tick is, oh yeah, I can help you with that. Oh yeah, I can help you with that. Oh yeah, I can help you with that. And you feel like you're saying yes. And that yes feels good. And guess what? It feels good to them because they live in a world where everyone's telling them no. They live in a world full of people going, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna miss my goal. I'm gonna miss my rock. I'm gonna miss my KPI, right? They're surrounded by people who are screwing up. And so they met you and you're gonna do all the things, and that feels so good, right? And in a world where freelancing as a broad category is a legitimate category of work, great. Freelancing is going out of fashion, right? That idea that I'm just a person who has this skill set and just hire me in some general scope of what I do. Good luck. Honestly, good luck. So that saying yes actually is feeding the system for that person to go away and have to talk to a boss or a coworker or someone who signs off on their budget or their team. Because sometimes it's the CEO and they go back to their team and they're like, hey, I met Dave and Dave's great. And he has so many ideas. He's going to be helpful with us. And somebody in the room says, well, what exactly does Dave do? And your person who likes you a lot says, I think they could do a lot of stuff for us. I really liked them. And now your opportunity is officially dead because a room of other decision makers can't decipher you from a friendly person that they would go and banter with at the bar on a Thursday. They can't deter, there's no offering, there's no clarity, there's no thing to respond to. Because part of trust making is the risk of saying, I do this. Part of what makes you trustworthy is saying, I do this in the world. You should hire me for this. Not, I could be anything. Don't you want to hire me for anything? Right? Or any version of that. And so, tactically, when you're in the sales environment, you never want to agree to helping until you have an offering that you can offer. So you're just asking questions and exploring. You're validating that makes sense. I've seen that before. Let me give you this example from my other client conversations. Would you say that that's similar? You're you're pairing your experience to theirs. They're going, "Oh my gosh, she really knows a lot about this," right? You're having that bringing the circles together of their experience and your experience. But you're not saying anything close to, I will do ABC for you, or I can help with blah, 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 blah. Because that's for the offering. You need to withhold that until they ask for it. And when they ask for it, it's a different conversation. We're putting on different hats, we're shifting gears, we're pivoting our shoulders to a different posture. It's a completely different conversation than the exploratory conversation. And the best thing you can do for you and your prospect, and it has the truth baked into it, so that's another reason why it's trust making, is to say, this has been a really good conversation. It has the flavor of things that I can help with. But I want to really give this some thought and come back to you with my best idea. Let's meet in the next 48 hours. Let's meet in the next 72 hours. And let's talk about what I heard you say, what I think the real issues are, and then what I would bring to the table so that you can have what you need to respond to me in an intelligent way. That's trust making. You know why? Because you're out there on the risk limb. Walking away from a meeting where everybody likes each other, you didn't take any risk. I'm sorry. You did the easy thing. You cuddled up to them. You told them they were pretty. You said you could be helpful. You did all the easy stuff. And people who do easy stuff just aren't that trustworthy. They just aren't. You have to do a hard thing. That doesn't mean you make it hard on them. You have to do a hard thing, which is to pause, not get drunk on other people's appreciation and affinity for you, and create space for you to think, react, and propose so that you have the risk of rejection. You have to bear the risk of rejection. If you're not bearing the risk of rejection, and the only way they can reject you is to ghost you, and by the way, the reason why they ghost you is because they feel bad. They ghost you because they like you. So you have to bear the risk of rejection because it's much easier to have a follow-up call that you don't know what the call is going to be. Like, I really want to get back and meet with Susan because Susan has ideas that I don't know what the ideas are going to be. But you circling back and being like, hey, we had a great call and I feel like we could maybe figure out some ways to work together. Susan didn't have any mystery about you, right? Now she just has a vague notion of a nice person. And her vague notion of a nice person has been reinforced by all her colleagues who are going, I don't know, what are we going to do with this person? And which budget are we going to cut to pay for them? The reality is you got to go in with something that people can react to, people can respond to, which puts you at a higher level of risk, a higher level of emotional exposure, but it also puts you in a dialogue where people can actually trust you and take a risk on you. So, just a quick tip for some things to do inside the sales environment to stop getting ghosted, to stop feeling like your prospects like you, but they never hire you. These things that are chronic in the coaching and consulting and fractional space, and actually move toward helping people make better decisions over time. This has been Dan's Given. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to dig deeper, you can head over to dansgiven.com where you can subscribe, get more material, ask questions, or even grab a quick call with me. Everything we've covered here is a part of the TrustMade growth ecosystem, my framework and method for leading ventures into a new TrustMade era. You can join our community and find training opportunities or just learn more about us at trustmadegrowth.com or work with me and my team directly at culturecraft.com. We'll see you next time.